Fill us in, Mike.
Yeah, Kelly and Jamie, the science community is certainly buzzing over the rapid formation of a giant sunspot. They found this on the sun, and concerns are rising that this sunspot may eject a solar flare in the near future. Solar flares are one of the greatest threats to our planet's telecommunications system known today. NASA announced last week a colossal sunspot that is at least 6 times the size of Earth has formed on the sun in less than 48 hours. Scientists have identified this spot to be in an unstable configuration which could potentially lead to a solar flare in the future.
So we worry more about the telecommunications satellites being knocked out from a very strong solar flare than really what would happen here on Earth. Now, in the doomsday scenario, if you were to get an ultra-strong flare that made it through all those radiation belts and actually hit the Earth, then you could potentially knock out all of the computers on Earth.
I spoke with Professor Ben Sugarman from Goucher College about this new astronomical event. He says we may not need to panic and rush underground so fast.
This last one last week had a 7 or 8% chance of creating what's called an X-type flare that could produce some harmful X-rays and charged particles that could hurt some satellites. Then we just keep watching to see whether the flare happens. And like I said, you have a long lag between when you see the flare and when it actually arrives.
Solar flares are classified according to the intensity of the solar burst and is assigned a class letter. While a B class is the most common flare, the X class is the strongest flare.
Are you guaranteed that nothing would happen? You're never guaranteed of any of it, right? But do we try our best to ensure that what is up in space is as protected as possible? Yes. Can we turn them the opposite direction and put them into safe mode so that if they are hit by these particles, most of them will just sort of hit the outer skin and the energy will diffuse? Yes. Could it knock out a few satellites? Yes. You know, there's no guarantees.
The last major solar flare occurred in 1859, known as the Carrington event. This event knocked out telegraph stations worldwide. Scientists warn the sun is currently in an active phase expected to peak sometime this year. All right, so to answer your question, Kelly Swoop, it starts as a sunspot and then we'll see if it erupts into a flare. Again, effects from a major flare can range between, say, communication disruption to a massive power outage, just like, say, Quebec back in 1989 where they saw a massive power outage because of a solar flare. While there are no indications of an immediate solar eruption right now, scientists will monitor this newly discovered sunspot in the event of, say, an eruption occurs. More information can be found online at abc2news.com. Guys.